Hey guys, how are you?
Good,
Good,
Gemma.
good. We're doing well.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Really stoked about this conversation.
Thanks for
Of
having us
course.
on.
Of course. I'd love to know, what have you guys been doing to keep busy other than music over this past year?
Eli and I have set up our own art club.
Yeah, we've been doing a bit of painting behind the scenes. It's a nice break from music. You just kind of relax, put some Glen Campbell on. It's kind of nice.
It's just behind that wall.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What kind of stuff do you guys like to paint?
Finger painting, they're not very good at it. Yeah, no, not very.
I don't know.
Big finger painting YouTube tutorial.
Painting just like pictures of our mates in funny situations and stuff like that. Just for a laugh. I think like over lockdown we were definitely forced to look elsewhere for inspiration. Not being able to go anywhere and everything. So. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. What are your music listening habits like recently? Do you guys make playlists? Are there any key artists you guys have been listening to?
I mean, as bad as it sounds, we haven't because we're working on a second album. We just haven't really been listening to a lot of music at the moment. And when we do, it's very specific.
Yeah, you kind of get comfortable just listening to the same stuff over and over again.
But there's a few artists we've been enjoying. Royal Blood released a new album recently, which is really good.
Earth, Wind and Fire, the Isley Brothers.
Did they?
Oh
No.
no!
No.
Earth, Wind and Fire aren't putting out new music.
Yeah.
You do a lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Cool. Talk to me about It Won't Always Be Like This. Congratulations, by the way. Love the album. Such a full sound. Could you talk to me a bit about the inspiration for this album?
Yeah. It's kind of been written over the past 5 years. Since
Wow.
we started the band. Like, It Won't Always Be Like This was written when we were 17, 16, sort of. So, we've just been kind of figuring it out since then, and we kind of just wanted to feel optimistic, and I think it really captures that kind of weird gray area of being in between a teenager and like a young adult, So like, it's kind of about that period of your life, and yeah.
That's definitely a crazy period, and definitely like kind of, I feel like underrated amongst people.
Now, especially right now with just the way the world is, it just everything seems so uncertain. And,
Yeah.
I think before the pandemic, we were maybe writing songs that were a little more innocent, and like when you're a teenager, you just want to write about like the girl you liked, or like stuff like that, and we did write songs about that. But I think when the pandemic happened, it really puts things into perspective, and I think the lyrics and the songs are still optimistic, but they maybe have more of like this broader, serious undertone to them.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Could you speak to any particular pieces of gear that were used on this album that were maybe like key throughout it?
There's this one pedal made by Strymon called the Volante, and our producer put it like, and this is in no offense, but he put it on absolutely anything he could have. So good.
We had to stop him.
Yeah.
It's like
now
a
in
tape
Volante
delay
rehab.
kind of thing, but it's brilliant. Like it's just saying so good.
Yeah, we used a lot of that. Some OV6 was on that record as well, which is like a keyboard that we've been using. Yeah.
Do you guys have any tips on how to create such a full sound for maybe any bands or artists that are trying to do that right now? I just feel like you guys do it so well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Turn everything up.
Yeah.
The louder the more you get away with,
Yeah, I think though, like, we don't just pack out the place for no reason. I think if we put something in, it's usually a hook, or it's complementing something else. So it is a very full sound, but I think it definitely justifies itself.
Totally. So one of my favorite tracks is Slide Out the Window, and I love the like phase out towards the end. I just felt like it was so unexpected, and it really caught my ear. Could you talk to me a bit about making that song? And
We love that song so much.
So good.
That's one of the ones we're looking forward to playing live most.
Yeah.
The way we made it was like, it kind of felt like a really like I know we felt really mature for this time space we were in because we were all just kind of sitting in the live room and just like we had a demo going, but we just kind of just wrote it again from there, like just together. So it felt really nice.
It was like we wrote it because we felt more mid tempo. We hadn't really gone into that like type of beat or like rhythm before, and I think maybe it was inspired by just sitting on your arse in the pandemic doing nothing. It felt like we were a lot more mid tempo, and I think the fact that it comes third on the record is a nice touch because people aren't expecting it.
Yeah, exactly. What did the writing process look like for this? I know you guys have been writing it like over the course of 5 years, but when do you guys typically get together and write? Is there a certain place you guys go, certain time of day?
There's no one set process that we stick to when it comes to writing a song. I mean, writing for us kind of becomes a little bit difficult to manage to get done when we're on tour all the time. Yeah. So it was quite an interesting thing for good and bad reasons for us to come off tour and all of a sudden not be able to leave our houses or whatever. So we were kind of forced to write songs, and half of the songs on the album were born out of sheer boredom and uncertainty of whether or not we were ever going to play live again. So it was interesting for us to move to London after 3 or 4 months after not seeing each other and go into the studio, not really sure of what direction the album was going to take, but we were just jamming away at some of these new demos that had been written, and it was so great that we thought, okay, we've got kind of an idea of what songs will and won't make the album now that these new things have come to light. And so we're really proud of, how they turned out in the end, I think, But to answer your question, there isn't one set process. Sorry, I go on a rant.
No.
There's not.
You've got a nice sounding voice.
It can be the whole songwriting thing can be born out of, like it can either be someone comes in with a riff or someone comes in with a demo on their computer or some chords or a drum beat. It can really just come from anything. And our objective is to not try and categorize it in any way, but just do whatever it takes to write the best song possible.
Yeah, no matter what it sounds like.
Yeah.
We're definitely open to a lot of sounds, and we want to be that band that doesn't have any rules. And like, I think there's a lot of bands at the moment who are very stuck in their way, and I think that's a great approach. But I think something that we do differently is that, we come up with a different sound every day. We don't know what our sound is still. And I think that's pretty exciting to be a part of.
I think rules and limits kind of hinder creativity, and for us, like, not having any rules has always helped the music in massive ways.
I think we just try to serve the song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What does a day in the studio look like for you guys? Do you guys drink a lot of coffee, eat any particular snacks? How long are your sessions?
Coffee is
so much coffee.
A lot of food.
Coffee is a dangerous thing in the studio.
A lot of coffee, a lot of
Takeout.
a lot of chicken, a lot of cigarettes, a lot of cigarettes, a lot of time.
Down.
We're in there for like, we could easily do 12 to 14-hour days, pretty much every day.
Wow.
But a lot of music, more importantly.
A lot of music, yeah, that's
music,
the main thing.
A lot of creativity.
And a lot of positivity for the most part, or at least we try to. Maybe half of that, maybe an eighth of the day is negativity, but that's
It's necessary.
that needs to happen,
Yeah, to come down, you gotta go up.
What was the Dublin music scene like growing up? It's something I'm not familiar with, so I'd love to hear.
I don't think we really noticed the scene growing up.
Yeah.
We were kind of just listening to our parents' record collections. In terms of Irish music, we all grew up on Thin Lizzy and Boomtown Rats and whatnot. But we've noticed the Irish music scene becoming a lot more prominent in recent years, particularly since the pandemic started. So many people we know have started writing music, which is great.
Every second person we know from school is like, oh man, I'm actually doing music now. You know what happened to decade band?
Yeah.
It's like, oh look, going back, it's all the people who slagged us off. They're like, actually, you started music, and it's great. You were right.
Yeah. Like it's pretty amazing to be like a part of the Dublin music scene as it is right now, because I think there's a lot of diversity in music coming out of it, and for a place that historically isn't very diverse, I think it's pretty amazing. And like there's bands like Fontaine's DC who are coming out, and like the Clockworks who are coming on tour with us, and like it's just like, I mean, that's Ireland, but I think it's just it's nice when you're on tour and you see another Irish band, who are playing the same venues as you and doing the same thing. You know, there's no competitiveness. It's like really everybody's just trying to get through it together. You know, it's not malicious in any way.
That's great. That's awesome. Congratulations on the upcoming tour. That's so exciting. And I'm so stoked to see a Toronto date, because we haven't had any shows yet here. What is a live show like for you guys?
Definitely not involving masks.
Yeah.
Or social distancing.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why
right.
it's taken so long. Is because, you know, we really want these gigs to first of all go ahead. But I mean, of course, if people have to wear masks, people have to wear masks. But really, it just we want people to feel comfortable at the shows.
We want them to come back as long as they're safe to do so. You know what I mean? It's like I personally right now feel a little like bizarre walking into a shop, you know, without my mask. So I think hopefully by the time gigs come around, everything will be settled.
Yeah.
And, you know, vaccines will work and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, I think that's all my questions, but thank you guys so much for your time. And I really hope to make it out to the Toronto show. Fingers crossed. And yeah. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Have a great day, guys.